should be like taking us live right now. And then I'm gonna go back to you. I'm gonna just turn the volume off in it. And then me and you just conversate on Zoom.
Word.
Create a room, create a post. I think we good right now. Hold on, let me just make sure. Turn this volume down. All right. Zoom. Just want to make sure we good. That all right. I ain't hit record yet with us, but I think we in there, Ralphie.
I see the little recording symbol right there.
You see it? We're recording now, right?
Yep.
Ralphie.
What's up, G?
Welcome to the show, my brother.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
Man, this is an honor to have you. Ralphie, I apologize for all the people watching in advance. There's some technical difficulties. Not on my part. I'm gonna blame it on the guests. I'm gonna blame it on the guests.
I was saying, like,
this is the first show, and I can't take the blame on the damn first show. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very excited. This is just a regular conversation we're having. I just want to say this though, Ralphie, I've been a fan from afar for the last couple of years. And I've always wanted to kind of do something where I get to like talk to people that that are from the city that I haven't met or that I've been inspired by or I've been a fan of. And I've been getting them on my podcast. And as I've told you months ago, I've been trying to get you on the podcast, but obviously due to the pandemic, that's a little bit difficult. So this is another route I'm trying to take. So, man, you're the first person that I have doing this live, and you should feel honored, bro. You said what?
I said I am honored to just sit here and give you real answers about real life shit.
Hey, I appreciate you. Let me ask you a question though. How you holding up during this pandemic?
Hey, I can't even say anything negative about it, to be honest. I've just been growing, and it's a little bit of isolation, but I'm learning a lot in the process of it. I'm still, working as well. So I'm chilling, bro. I do have a lot of like friends, and other people who, get real close to it. So I have them in mind all the time, but I'm chilling, bro. It's just another day.
Just another day for you, huh? Has it stopped your productivity in terms of like producing music or direct? Well, you do so much. First of all, let's talk about that, because you are kind of like Prince in terms of like you do a lot of shit, man. You do.
Hype me like that, man. You wild.
Nah. I'm just listen. For me, like I said, obviously, I know you as a rapper, and my younger cousins would talk about you. So, but I didn't know you directed. I didn't know you probably do 20 other things. And for a lot of people that are on my page that just follow me for comedy, could you tell a little bit about yourself? I don't want to brag too much.
For those who just don't know me, my name is Ralph Weah. I'll say I'm an artist. I'm just an artist who has different dimensions, and I share stories and I share, my vision of the world in different ways. Mm-hmm. I think from the pandemic question, I think that's why I do it, because I'm never limited. With the pandemic happening, I can't go to the studio and do all, the recording stuff, but at the same time, I can still, do video stuff. I could do a lot of, photo stuff. I'm involved in photography, cinematography. I make music, of course, but I'm just trying to love the passion and bring everything together as much as I can, bro. It, it all relates to each other. You feel me?
Yeah. See, I know as a comedian, like for me, I'm struggling a little bit. You know what I mean? Like obviously I travel a lot, and with comedy, it's very it's interactive, and a lot of times most of the time you need the stage, you need the audience. Um I don't think I've performed in almost 2 months, 2.5 months, since like March 12th, but I traveled a lot, and obviously I performed a lot. So
You're
being
every
at
day.
home,
Like,
huh?
does this man get any sleep? Like every day, I'm like, yo, he's over here. He's over to fucking Dubai. Like I'm like, yo, he's every.
Nah, I try to stay active. I've been very blessed in that sense to travel a lot and to have the opportunity to see a lot of the world through comedy. Like I think last year alone, bro, I was home for a total of 90 days.
Mm,
And the rest of the time I was on the road.
that's
So just imagine I had that all of last year, and then even leading up to this pandemic, probably the first 3 months I was on the road for 45 days. You know what I
huge.
mean? So to sit at home for 2 months straight,
I know it's a huge transition for you,
a
brother.
huge transition.
Know that.
But I think the blessing is in this isolation, I have been able to do some other things like this, where I can, focus on things like this, things like just working on things about myself personally, catch up on a lot of things that I normally have to take time. I'm always like, I'm too busy. I can't do that. I can't do this. So now this slowdown, is an opportunity for me to do and try to do other things that I haven't done before. Like I told you, I bought a keyboard. I see your keyboard in the background.
Yeah, bro. Freaking, I'm still trying to get my levels up. I'm trying to learn as much as I can with the instruments and get the
See, that's what I'm saying. I'm telling you, bro, Prince, bro, all day.
word. Word.
Genius wise, you know what I'm saying, in terms of creativity. Um, but let me know, because I don't know much about your background. Like, so are you from Worcester, or did you move to Worcester?
I moved to Worcester. I've been living here. I guess I can be considered from now because I've been living here for like nine years.
9 years. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now, where'd you originally come from?
Originally, I was in Africa, bro. I was in South Africa, Liberia, Ghana. I traveled a lot.
Mm-hmm.
My family and I, I was born in an era where there was a lot of war, so it
Mm-hmm.
was very like nomadic. We had to move around a lot. I came out here uh, when I was like 9, 10 years old.
Mm.
hmm
Nine,
I mean,
10 years old.
Worcester wasn't the first place I came. I was living
Mm-hmm.
for a little bit in North Carolina, but it's
Okay.
where I settled down at. So I've been, in and out of Worcester since then.
Oh, okay. But you consider yourself a Worcester guy now, because this is probably the majority of your life has been spent here, at least
Oh,
your adult years.
that's a fact.
Mm. Now, for so what's the ethnicity? Like, are you because you said several South African countries, right?
Mhm.
But which ones, which one, what are you? Like, what's your background?
South African and Liberian.
Oh,
I was raised, by a guy who was Black American, and my mama who's, all Liberian.
nice. So you lived in South Africa for a while. I've been there several times.
Word?
Uh, yeah,
How do you
yeah, yeah.
question? How do you like it?
Man, when I went there, like I said, I loved it.
Mhm.
But when I went there, I did the Johannesburg, International Comedy Festival. I did it twice. And man, I had a great time. I was very it was just I didn't know what to expect because it was my first time in that part of the world, in that part of Africa. Like the only other place I went to in Africa when I was maybe about 20, I was very ignorant of the area, right? So I went to Morocco. I was in Spain, and I went to Morocco and I was thinking, yo, I'm gonna go to Africa for the first time. I'm about to turn 21. I'm gonna go where my people are at, right? That was my attitude. So I jumped on the ferry and I went over to Morocco. And when I looked around, I was in because I was gonna go to Marrakesh. When I looked around, I realized I was like, nobody kind of looks like me. Everybody was Arabic. And I just, in my mind, I just thought Africa, I'm going to Africa. Everybody's going to look like me. So I was very ignorant of that. But then, like I said, I went to South Africa in 2015, I believe, 15 or 16. And then I just went again last year, 2019.
Oh.
And,
Where'd you go?
I went to Joburg. Yeah, I went to Joburg and I went to Cape Town. So the first time I was there in Joburg, just enjoyed the festival and I just loved it, man. I'm around. I know a lot of the big comics out there. Really good friends. We got the same agent in Europe. And then the second time I went out there, I knew I wanted to spend more time out there because I had a great time the first time. So I flew in. I went to Cape Town for about a week. Hung out with a bunch of comics, did a bunch of shows. Then I went and did the Joburg Festival for another week. And then I went back over to Europe for a little bit.
That's real tight. What is it like how do you say, is it a tour? You
Was I on a tour when I went?
Like a comedy tour to different cities? Because bro, I'm at different places consistently, like, oh snap. That was real fast. That was a wild plane ride, I bet.
Yeah. Sometimes, well, it all depends. Like, so sometimes my agents will set up like little mini tours in Europe. Like, so I'll do like a couple cities in Switzerland, like maybe 3 or 4, and then they'll tie that into something else in Norway since I'm in the area already.
Got you.
So I'll have like little mini European tours, and then other times I'll be in like I've done Johannesburg, the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, which is in Scotland, and it's a crazy festival. That's the biggest art festival in the world. Like if you don't know, 3,000 shows a day going on for 25 days, and it's not all stand up. It's mixed up with a bunch of other things, but it's it's like boot camp for comedy, man. You just there, you're performing, and so I have a bunch of shows there, but then I'll come back home and you'd be like, damn, he in Shrewsbury. This dude was just in Cape Town. Now he's in Shrewsbury, and then he's down in Florida. But that's pretty much. So I wouldn't say big major tours, not yet, but definitely mini tours. And the same thing with colleges. I do a ton of colleges. I might be in the Midwest and do 12 colleges around the Midwest and come back home.
That's hard, bro. That's what it is. And you getting, the experience and you getting the catalog going, bro. That's a blessing, my G.
Yes, it's definitely a blessing, but it's tiring in itself. Now, have you ever done any tours or anything as of yet?
Nothing major. I've done, a lot of performances with, a few upcoming artists and stuff, but nothing that, ties me in with, going on a tour or, something international on that level. No.
Not yet.
Not yet. That's a fact.
Now, what's the biggest crowd you've ever performed in, and what's the furthest place you've ever been?
Biggest crowd? It was definitely, I think it was 2018. I had a performance at UConn.
Oh, nice.
1,000 to 2,000 folks in that crowd. Like it was a whole stadium. It was put on by the student body and whatnot. My boy invited me.
Yep. You shut it down.
Yeah, it was lit. It was definitely, it was different.
So that's dope. That's dope.
That's what I would tell you.
You said what?
I said I've been preparing for the big crowds. That's what I would tell you.
Yeah, man. See, that's the colleges. The colleges is a weird. Sometimes I feel like it's a weird circuit. Sometimes I mean, and I'm only saying this because I'm older. You know what I mean? Like, so sometimes with comedy, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like maybe my material might not relate because I'm just at another phase in my life where they're just starting theirs in terms of like adulthood. But so as a comic, I got to find that area that's a middle ground. Like I can't get up there and talk about, serious, deep relationship stuff. And they're like, I'm on Tinder every day, all day. You know what I mean? So it's a different dynamic. So as a musician, have you ever found yourself in front of crowds that were not your demographic? Like, and what was that experience like?
I think it's always like that, especially for an upcoming artist. There's like a stigma to, oh, he's actually, talented. I'm gonna stand up because this is dope work I'm hearing. This is lit. Mm-hmm. I always feel like, when I'm going on stage to perform, a lot of people are not gonna understand, but I like that because that's my challenge to, actually get on there and do well and make them understand. Mm-hmm. So I always have crowds that, are of demographics and of, different likenesses, but I'm diverse and I can, how do I say it? I can hang out with the cool kids and I can hang out with the nerds, bro. So I think I like the challenge.
That's a dope skill to have, to be honest with you. Because obviously the more people you can relate to from different personalities, different backgrounds, I mean, the further your reach is more than likely gonna be.
At the end of the day, I could have, some real gangster songs over here, but on my other like album or, catalog, I got some soft songs that, and there are females who, they feel that more than they would feel, the gangster song. So I understand that not everybody's gonna like everything, but don't say, oh, because they don't like this, they're not gonna like, the rest of the catalog. You gotta, make it for the user, make it, for them. So I like
kind of like being like a chef and putting out different plates that everybody can get a little bit from, right?
Yep, because everybody got different sides.
Yeah, see, the cool thing about being a musician is like, yo, this is my shit, right? So this is what I do. Here's a bunch of it. You can take it. With the comics, comedy's weird, bro. Like, cause I'll do, like I said, I'll be in Europe where people, some of the countries, and they barely speaking English is their second language, right? And then
about that too, I was like, yo, go on, please.
Yes, so you got that aspect of it, and then I'll go and do a cruise ship, and a cruise ship, man, some of these damn cruise ships is like nursing homes. I mean, it's just an older crowd, right? So then you have that aspect of it, and then on a cruise ship, you'll also have some shows where the audience is younger, and then you'll have to do family shows sometimes, and you might have a 2 or 3-year-old running around. Now I can't be up there like, hey, motherfuckers, what's up? Right? Not with no kid running around. Like, so you gotta learn to kind of be like, still be yourself, and still get out what you gotta. It doesn't mean that you gotta change and conform to the audience, but you gotta kind of have this ability to kind of like shift yourself in a sense where you're still yourself, but you just adjust a little bit. I might take a little steam off of this, and I think even when you're like, some people are like, oh, when you go over to England or you go to England or Scotland, oh, they all speak English, so you should be fine. Sort of, because you got to remember there's cultural differences as well.
That's okay.
Little things that we just take for granted, or like little words, like little references. Like if I say Pop-Tart in front of an American crowd, everybody knows what a fucking Pop-Tart is.
Right.
But if I'm over in England, I'm talking about Pop-Tarts, they don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so you make your mistake and you gotta be like, ah, damn, what's the word that they use for the same damn thing that I'm describing? Or something like crisp, they call potato chips crisp. So when you're over there and you're like, yeah, man, and then I took the chips and I put them in my mouth and they had sour cream. And they're like, man, what do you mean? French fries with sour cream? They're like confusing the two things. So
that's hilarious.
Yeah, it's like an adjustment. Now, let me ask you this question, because like obviously, it's cool to interview and know all the shit that you're doing now, but like I was a teacher for 12 years. And so I'm always interested. Like I'm always interested, especially a kid from Worcester and grew up in went to school in Worcester Public Schools. Now, did you go middle school here through high school, or did you go elementary, middle, and high school?
Yeah, it was like the last couple of years of elementary.
Where was you at?
I went to Elm Park.
Elm Park, oh, okay.
Then I went to I went to Elm Park, Forest Grove, East, and North.
East, Middle, then North.
Yeah.
Out of the four, what's the most memorable thing that happened? And let's go with elementary school first.
Elementary school.
Or just out of all three. Give me your top two. Just out of everything.
So you're saying out of high school, elementary school,
middle school. Because I don't want to force you to think elementary, but if you got something, I'll take it. Because I wanted to do elementary, middle, and high school.
I remember like real life events that happened back then, but I do remember a situation that happened at North. It was like a week straight of just wild stuff, bro. It was like a bomb threat one day, and then it was like a brawl of girls the next day, and it was just, mad beef going on. And they had like police just, watching the students like real tightly, like walking home, they'll have like patrols and all that. And I remember one day I think there was like a news article and everything on this. So I was actually walking home and I seen this happen. There was a girl, she was talking to another girl. It wasn't like a violent, they weren't fighting or nothing by the cops. The cops was asking her what was going on and whatnot, and she was mad off rip because I don't know what she had going on with this other girl, but she got at the cop. She was like, "Oh, my dad is a lawyer. Boom, boom, boom. You can't do this to me." Like they were going at it. Like she was mad. She got in an altercation with this man.
With the cop.
Yeah. And he was wilding. I ain't gonna lie to you. He was wilding, and dudes are watching him do this. Well, them argue, and he's kind of he's a little forced on. He's using a little too much force on the girl, and dudes are watching. Like, you gotta chill, bro. That's a female. So they get into it. So now you got guys this girl and another girl, you know, so it was like a whole brawl of just cops, girls, and dudes, and it was just mad stuff going on. And
Damn.
these officers like broke his leg or something because he like tried to kick somebody, or he kicked a girl, and it was in the paper. I was like, oh snap.
And he broke his leg? I think I heard about this. I think I was teaching, I think when this happened. This had to be, this wasn't even, this wasn't 10 years ago, right? This was like
5, 6 years.
Yeah, I think, yeah, I was definitely teaching when this happened. I remember it happened. I was like, damn, somebody broke their leg. And as a student, what year were you that year? Do you remember?
When you're a senior, one of those.
Damn.
It was a funny, be real, because everything did not have to happen. You know, it could have been, you know, just de-escalated so easily. It was just like from one thing to the next.
Damn. Yeah, North. Now North, because you went to school with the new North High School, right?
I both. I was there my first year at the old one.
Or the little small one, the little mini refrigerator.
Yeah. Appreciate life, bro. Like I remember we had the weight rooms with the actual like weight with the bars, you know, everything's like rusty.
Yeah, that was the old school. I remember that North. I got a lot of really good homies that went to North High School. Now I forgot to even ask you about that. You play sports?
Oh yeah, I play football.
Oh yeah, what position?
I was a running back and a middle linebacker.
Nice.
I wasn't the dude in the world, but you know, I had the speed on school.
Oh, you had the speed? Do you miss it? Do you ever think about back in those days and you're like, damn man, like how many years did you play? 4 years or
about 3, I think. Okay. I got with it middle of freshman year. And around the end of my junior year, I had to stop because, you know, I had a couple injuries and stuff. I do feel that I do miss it all the time. I ain't even gonna front because, you know, it did build a lot of character. You know, I love the brotherhood.
Yeah, for sure.
Learning how to act when to be crazy and when to, you know, be in line. So
yeah.
I do love it.
Yeah, that's fun. It's funny because I played basketball when I was at South, and I played football my junior year. But my senior year, I didn't play. I wanted to play. I should have played. I could have played. But I had like, you know, at the time, sometimes like, especially senior year is it's a very hectic year because first of all, you got senioritis, so you're lazy. But you can't be lazy because you're trying to graduate, you're trying to get into, you know, all these colleges and blah, blah, blah. You're trying to get your resume straight. So for me, I just felt like I felt very overwhelmed senior year. So I decided not to, and I had all these obligations I had to do. I decided not to play football, but I think about that to this day. Like, man, I wish I would have played senior year because just like basketball, but football especially because it's just a bigger group. There's that brotherhood that you have, and you know, just the drills and like you hate. When I was a kid, I hated. You know, not kid, but like when I was a teenager, I hated. I liked the games. I hated the drills and the practices.
That was dreadful, man. Like I swear it was trying to kill us, bro.
Yeah. But I see it now though, because I used to be a high school coach for a little while at the all school. And I remember like, you know, having the kids run drills. And then and then in my head, I'll be like, man, I can't do that shit, man. But y'all do another one, another lap. You know, just
you fast enough. Do 2 more for him.
Exactly. So it's very funny, but I do you know, for me, well, let me ask this for you actually. Who are the teachers that had the biggest impact on you while you were in school?
Sure. I'll say one. Burke.
What was the name?
Mr. Burke. He was a North High teacher.
Okay.
I think English. No, he was a history teacher. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like in his class, he was real clear cut about history, because the book caps a lot, so he taught how it was, and I feel like he had us, go do a lot of research on our own, do projects that related to, what was going on at the time. So I, I think it resonated with me a lot. And he had a big influence on me when it comes to music also, because, he had me listening to people like Louis Armstrong and
Oh, wow.
he's a dope jazz musician. So yeah, kudos to him. And he also, what's it called? He wrote my college recommendation letter. Like, that's how cool he was. Freaking, yeah, he was a good dude. Like, I feel like he took like a role of, like a pops to me, because he he was around when I lost my pops. I was real young type, and I wrote a whole like story type paper on it, and he got a hold of it. He was like, "Yo, this is real dope," and I feel like we had a connection after that. Like,
now let me ask you: are you still in contact with him, or no? Not really.
Yeah, I still holler at him from time to time. I haven't hollered at him for a while though. The last time I hollered at him, it was actually hilarious, because I was at a Planet Fitness, you feel me? And I had went to college and everything, and I hadn't spoken to him for like a year or two. Freaking over here working out and whatnot. Old dude just staring at me. I'm like, who is this old dude just looking at me? I'm like, yo, you good? And he's like, Ralph. And I was like, hi. He's like, and I was like, Mr. Burke, I recognize him. I didn't recognize him because he had like a full beard, everything going on. I was like, oh snap. And, we connected instantly. Next like week, we was, talking, having coffee, but cool dude.
Oh, that's what's up. It's funny you said that though. I'm glad you said that you did not recognize your teacher, right? Because a lot of teachers get a reputation for not recognizing students when they get older, which to me makes sense. I shouldn't recognize what you look like, because you guys, you're men or women, grown women now. You know what I mean? Like, they're always like, yo, mister, you don't remember me? I'm like, no, I remember your face. Huh?
Different, like, compared to what they look back in the day. Like, it's kind of crazy.
It is crazy how much people change, and it's the same thing for teachers, man. You might have a teacher and you remember them, like in your mind, they look the same way that they look when you last saw them. Cut to 10 years later, that teacher's balding. They got a bed belly. You know what I'm saying? You're like, yo, who is this dude? It's just a dude that Planet Fitness with a bed.
Big fact.
Right?
Yeah, bro. It was actually just like that.
It was just like that. Is that why he was at Planet Fitness?
Yeah, bro. We was getting it in. I was like, yo, I gotta teach you how to use that machine.
What's he doing? Teachers don't know how to do it. I was a history teacher for a while too. So yeah, history teachers they usually pretty. A lot of them are cool, man. Like, in my opinion, who's the you don't even have to say the name, but I don't even want to go there. Fuck it. Who's the worst teacher experience? Worst teacher experience that you had? You don't have to say names, but like, what did they do that?
So I like school, but at the same time, I didn't really care for school, because I like the people, and I was with my friends and all that. But with the work, I was just like, but at the same time, I was good at it, so I just did what I had to do to get it done.
Yep.
So I had this English teacher. I had like a D in her class, like for a couple like quarters, bro. And bro, she had me do like extra work, all that. Like I was in a AP class, so it was a little harder too. She had me do like extra work to make it up. And sounding like Gucci, bro. I'm turning in material, looking like my grades going up. I get my report card, and she gave me, I think it was one number off from passing, bro. Like I think it was 59 or something. Like,
shit.
and I was so mad. I was, man, I was heated, but then I realized afterward that I wasn't the only person she did it to. She did it to a few other people, and I was like, yeah, she has a reputation of just wilding out and just taking it.
Damn, bro, that's tough.
To an extent, yeah.
So all that extra effort wasn't worth the extra point that you needed to at least
one point.
Yeah, that'd have me tight too. She would be on my shit list for the rest of my life.
That's a fact. I ain't even gonna say names because we ain't gonna do that to them, but you gotta change that.
You gotta change. That's not a healthy attitude to have. Fact. You know what I mean?
Facts.
I get it. If you're like that up front, right? You know what I'm saying? Like if I say that up front, if I'm like, yo, I book by the grade, you know what I'm saying? Like you do all this extra credit, like, because some teachers will tell you to do extra credit shit, but they don't tell you if you turn all this in, that you just assume that that's what they're thinking. I do all this extra credit shit. I'm gonna make up for all the shit that I didn't do, and I'm gonna do what I need to do to pass. So, that's kind of fucked up. What's the hardest lesson you learned while you were a student? And it doesn't even have to be about school necessarily. It could just was life lesson that you learned.
Hardest lesson I learned while I was a student.
Yeah.
I think the hardest lesson was to learn how I work. I feel like we all have different ways of learning. We all got different ways of, obtaining information. And I think sometimes the ways that other people teach you is not how you gonna get the information. So I had to learn how to learn, on my own. So I think that's important, not to just sit back and let people tell you what's what and how to do things. But yeah, it was hard. It was hard for me in the beginning to learn that, because I feel like I had always been, institutionalized. I had always been, structured. So I had to break that.
Break the structure and find that. Now, did you find that while you were a student at North, or did you find that after you graduated from school that you just,
I think primarily I found that after I graduated. I was in college for a little bit. Hey.
Yeah, he ain't lying. He's telling the truth.
I was in college for a couple years. I dropped out though, and I feel like that was the stage where I really, learned how to learn. I was doing a lot of research on things on my own, and that's when I really like stepped my foot into the industry. I was involved in, creating music and videos and stuff, but I never took it to that level where it became like full time.
Now, let me ask you this: when did this passion, this realization that you had this talent in music happened? Was that something you discovered early? Was that something you discovered later on?
It was definitely real early, you
Uh-huh.
know.
Yep.
I remember I had instances when I was younger where I would have cousins who took me, to church, and I played the drums with them when I was like 6, 7 years old, like just, hitting the drums. And I remember I was really into beats. Even when I was living in, like South Africa and Liberia and Ghana, I was listening to artists who was in like Europe, and listening to like people don't even know about. I mean, I knew like 50 Cent and Michael Jackson, people like that, but yeah, bro, I liked a lot of, different music, so I was always in tune with it. Um, when I came here, I never like hopped on a mic though. I played the drums like I told you. When I met a cat, by the name of Jermaine. He was real cool, and I couldn't speak English that well, so I wasn't hanging with a lot of people. He was like one of the only cats in the neighborhood, that I hung with.
Yeah.
And he made music. Like I found that out randomly because we was just chilling one day. He's like, "Yo, bro, I got a studio session. I'm about to go, record some music." And I was like, "Okay." So I went up in there. We was just chilling, and he recorded a verse or a random song. And then he got out. He's like, "Yo, bro, hop on this." I was like, "Hop on this, bro." And I could barely speak English out here, and I'm like, "What do you mean?" But I got on the song, and the producer was real. He like taught me how to, get my cadence up. I wrote to it, and that's when I really, got into hip hop. I was I was into the like the hard rap, like just straight, and I was spitting bars after that, bro. Like I was just on my.
You was on your grind after that, right? You took off. That's crazy. So Jermaine, this dude Jermaine he's a big influence on you in terms of like the introduction to hip hop, not the introduction to it, but like the opportunity to like get involved by him saying, hop on this track.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was major, right?
That, bro, I feel like if I never met him, been involved in music to an extent, probably like producing or something, but he really motivated me to, write some words to what we was experiencing and what we was living. So shout out to him.
That's dope. That's super dope. Now, I know I had you on here for a minute, but
Yeah.
I wanted to and I appreciate you being on here, man. I think when we go on Facebook Live, there's probably a lot of questions and this, that, and the other we haven't been able to answer because we're just vibing.
Able to see those?
Huh?
Are you able to see the comments and whatnot?
I think if I click on something, I'll be able to look at the Facebook. Yeah, it'll be on our pages too, because I think I added your name. And anyways, this is being recorded, so I'll send you also a recording as well, so you just have it for yourself. But what if you had there's a lot of people, like I feel like in Worcester sometimes, like you don't realize it. Like for myself, I feel this way. I feel like there's a lot of talented people in the city, and I feel like sometimes even when you don't realize it, there's a lot of people looking up at what you're doing, even though you're looking up at what somebody else is doing. You know what I mean? Like for me, like I'll sometimes I forget, like, because my eyes are on guys like Joe Coy and the big guys like Kevin Hart and this, that, and the other. Sometimes I forget that, there are artists or comedians in the city that maybe, even though I just take whatever I'm doing for like granted, like I just like, oh yeah, I do this, I do that. Somebody else might be looking at it like, damn, he's doing a lot. I want to be where he's at. And I know it's probably the same for you. So my question then, I say all that to say, what kind of advice do you have for like artists that are not in your position or just are maybe like you 10 years ago?
My best advice for anybody that's coming up right now is to get your bars up, because the game is wild, and two, never settle for less.
Mm-hmm.
Always that, you know, you're in a very saturated game,
Mm-hmm.
and always gonna feel like there's somebody that's doing better than you, but that fame and that light comes and goes. So you gotta understand how to be a lasting light and how to be a lasting figure and not get lost in the clout.
Mm-hmm.
I think my best advice would be to believe in yourself and believe in what you think is real and what you think is true, and that's timeless. That's gonna always, you know, propel you and come back. When you put out fake stuff and you put out things that are just for the moment, it's not gonna last.
Mm.
You know, it's not gonna resonate well with the people. So I would say trust yourself and be yourself, because you know there's a lot of conformity in these industries, and I know you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know,
Mm-hmm.
there are certain messages that are trying to be, you know, pushed and portrayed. You gotta understand that it's all deeper than what it seems.
Mm-hmm. Bro, I know you're young, but man, the wisdom, brother.
Where
You know, you got that wisdom, and part of it might be because of, I always like to say, a lot of times when people that have traveled a lot in the world, like been exposed to a lot, different cultures, different situations, you know, to me, they always seem to be very, very wise and knowledgeable. And I appreciate the wise words, but there is one more question, even though I was about to wrap, but I have to get this out. Uh, because not only are you a musician, you also direct. You're also a photographer, and you direct. I've seen videos of you directing other artists' stuff, and I just want to say real quick, how did you go about doing that? Like, is that a passion that you had that came from photography and
so
then just blossomed, or?
let me tell you the story of Steady Wave, brother.
Wave.
Yeah, so when we was young, I would say like early North High days, freshman year, you know, I had a group of friends. We thought we was the funniest dudes in the world, bro. Freaking, yeah, we was doing like Cinemagram videos, we was doing Vine videos. You know, people were liking it, and we were getting a lot of traction on it. So we were lit. We got featured on like their pages and whatnot. So I kept, you know, doing videos. It came to a time where people in the group, you know, weren't living up to the standards of, you know, like the work ethic. So people had to get dropped
Mm-hmm.
and changed the name. So it started off as Team Wavy, then
Mm-hmm.
turned out to be Steady Wave after the name got changed.
Mm.
It was just, you know, like a production company at the time. Because
Yep.
after that, we wasn't, you know, like doing comedy videos anymore. I had a camera and I had to learn it. I'm like, what am I gonna do with it? I'm not gonna sell it. I'm not gonna, you know. So boom, I'm doing research. I'm figuring out how to use this joint. I'm taking photos for random people, freaking taking photos of the environment.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got really good at it. So I'm like, what's up? I'm gonna start charging because music ain't paying. So I'm getting it in with these cameras, you know. So I'm in the hood shooting videos for folks, doing music video, doing a wedding over here, quinceanera over there,
Getting it in.
and it became life. But at the same time, it wasn't my passion. It was my job, and I like it. You know, it's not like something I hate. Like, I love visuals, and I feel like it comes natural to me. But music was my passion, so I'm like, I might just segue back to, you know, music, because the plan was, you know, to do comedy, to step up. Yeah, it's kind of crazy, right?
I love it.
To that audience, and then transition into music. But, you know, I took a whole other route. That's why I always stress that, you know, trust yourself and trust your, you know, like, your route, because everybody's life is different. So I stepped into I was making videos for everybody. I made it, you know, like an actual company, you know. So it's Steady Wave now. I got Steady Wave Studios. I got Steady Wave Music. I got Steady Wave Sports on the way. You know, I've been working with athletes and stuff.
So in terms of, I'm very curious about the Steady Wave Sports. Is it like, is it training, or is it like apparel, or?
Hold on. That's that wave sound right there.
Yeah, that's dope. I seen
But
it. As soon as you seen it, I was like, oh shit, that's the thing I see in all the videos.
yeah, but so my main goal is to turn it into like a larger company where I have a parent company and, you know, separate entities. And Steady Wave Studios is basically, you know, like artist management and all that, and video production and visuals for athletes and people who are in, you know, that sector of, you know, doing things. Like, I'm trying to hit, you know, different avenues, brother.
Yeah, hey, listen, man. I think it's beautiful, man. Like, I think it's beautiful. I think it's inspiring. Like I said, it's inspiring for me just listening. Like, I'm like, shit, I gotta get my lazy ass together, man. This brother he talking about businesses, you know, with a plural, seers. So, I mean, I think that's awesome. And there's no doubt in my mind that, you know, you're gonna be successful, man. You got the humbleness, you got the work ethic, you got the talent, and but I will say this in closing, if people wanted to find out more about your music, more about your cinematography, more about videos, where would they need to go to find this information out?
I got basically all my my music and videos and stuff on different platforms. Got it on Instagram, Facebook, Apple Music, Ralph Weah, at Ralph Weah, RALHWEAH. And for, you know, video related things, if you're trying to work on a visual or photos or even like a short film, I got Steady Wave Studios, Steady and then Wave Studios. So, you know, we moving, but we steady. You know, we ain't going in the wind.
That's good, man. Like, I'm more impressed.
I'm really,
before I even got on the thing, but I do want to ask you one thing.
What's up?
Since I know you dabbled in comedy.
Oh, whoa.
When I do have a show in Worcester, I would like for you to, I don't know, man. Like, I feel very confident in your ability. I might want to pull you up on stage. You ever thought about telling any jokes?
Bro,
I know you got stories.
Like, I remember in high school, like, there'll be times when something would happen and the class would be bugging, bro. And I'll just step up there and just like start talking about random things and just making people laugh, bro. And it was just, you know, it was just another.
Nice.
You know, it became part of me, but I had to really like differentiate myself from comedy because I'm also a very serious person, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's hard. I think it's hard to do that and, you know, live life. So I really commend you, bro. Like it's hard to be a comedian.
It is difficult, but I think there is a misconception about comedians in the sense that everybody thinks that a comic is on 24/7 all the time. Like, I don't even know how long this interview is me and you had, but I might joke around a little bit, but there's a serious side to me as well. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I
Like,
mean? So if and even comics, I have many comedian friends, many. My favorite ones are the ones that don't have it on all the time. You know what I mean? Like they're not always on, like, because I like to have serious conversation as well. So I agree with you. If I had to be on 24/7, it wouldn't work, man. Because I think I'm off stage, I'm a little bit more laid back, introverted. On stage, you know, that extroverted part of me comes out and it's just another side of me. But you know, I'm not like that the whole time. So I agree with you. But you still haven't said yes or no to like, yo,
and
when I'm in Worcester, I'm gonna at some point I'm gonna do a couple shows in Worcester. And I mean, obviously, I'm inviting you to the show just to check it out. But obviously, if you wanted to get up on stage and just get that feel, get that thing out your system.
let me know. I'm always endeavors, you know.
Yeah. I'm serious. I love to have you. But anyways, Ralph, brother, thank you for being on the first show.
Thank
Uh
you.
I,
Thank you for
I, I you're a top guy. I'm a bigger fan than what I was before I asked you to come on the show.
bro. I was watching this YouTube. I mean, I think it was YouTube or Facebook video you did with this guy. Like it was shot with a really nice camera, bro. Like when I was younger, that's how I found out about you. I was like, yo, bro, this dude's doing like a lot of big things, and a lot of people in Worcester are not talking about him because they're not hip. I'm like, oh, I can relate.
You're like, well, listen, you know, I remember when you called me and we had that first conversation and we talked about that a little bit. And, you know, obviously I appreciate that. It means a lot to me. But yeah, man, like you're definitely an inspiration out here. And like I said, I'm a fan and I hope that, you know, people that know me and people that are on my page, please pay a visit and check you out in any one of your different platforms because you are so talented. But yeah, man, thank you, man. That's all I really want to say. If there's anything else you want to say, you can let it out right now.
Appreciate you for having me and telling everybody out there to have a blessed night, have a blessed, you know, year 2020. Stay Rona free and just, you know,
Stay rolling free.
make sure you know, get to it, get to the bag.
Yep. All right, brother. Well, I'm going to sign off. All the Facebook people, thank you guys for watching. We appreciate it. My
All right,
man, Mr. Ralphie May. What Ralphie May? Ralphie Way. Peace out, brother.
I know him too. That's the wild part.
You know Ralphie May, right? Yo, yeah, he passed away.
So you swear?
Yes, bro.
Watching his stuff, bro.
Ralphie May passed away a couple of years ago, man. Very, very ridiculous. Well, you know, ridiculously funny comic. But yes, he did pass away, brother. Rest in peace, Ralphie May.
Damn, man.
But we don't want to end on a sad note like that.
Word. I mean,
So,
we have now.
wait, no. Here's how we're gonna redeem ourselves. And this is a good way. Everything happens for a reason. I want you to tell me the funniest joke that you've heard of. If you got one, the last funniest joke that you heard of.
The funniest joke that I heard. Damn, bro, I don't even know if I remember that.
Well, you didn't know Ralphie May passed away, so you probably don't. You probably don't remember it.
Don't.
You don't. All right. Well, let's say three things. All right. Well, I ask this question, then we get out. If you were on an island, isolated, you could bring three things. What would they be?
Three things. They have to be objects.
It's whatever you want them to be. Three things.
Okay. I will bring. Woo, that's a hard question. I'll bring a fishing rod.
A fishing rod. Okay.
That's a fact, because I ain't trying to make that, bro. I'm just trying to, get.
That's funny.
I'll bring a fishing rod. Maybe a boat. And
smart, brother. A fishing rod and a boat. I've never got. Okay. So you can get away.
I gotta get out of there, bro. You can't be stuck over forever. I gotta think about one more thing though, like something that's vital. I gotta bring some food. I gotta bring some seeds. I'll bring some seeds.
You bring some seeds?
Something I can plant.
You're gonna plant some seeds in the beach area or just in?
I mean, not the beach area, but like downwards. If it's an island, I'm sure they
inward. Yeah. So fire. So you want a fishing rod to fish? So what's up? You gonna just eat the fish raw? Or you gonna just make the fire?
Fire, bro. Don't worry about that. I was in Boy Scouts in the whole 9.
Oh yeah, so you good. You say, yo, let me bring back these Boy Scout skills. I hear you though.
Yeah, bro.
But listen, Ralphie, again, man, once again, thank you for being on the show. I appreciate you. Wish you nothing but success, and have an amazing 2020. But we'll be in contact.
You too, my guy. Appreciate it.
All right, brother. Take care.
You too, man.
All right. Stop recording. Boom. Boom, boom, boom.